Welcome everybody to the Super Adventures of Flash and episode 6 of our trip to northern Spain and Portugal. So, here we are, we've had our time at the Serra Estrela National Park, leaving our hotel today. We're going all the way over, sort of northeast, over to Zamora today for our next overnight stop. So, some more mountain roads in the Douro Valley today. Bit of a mixture. And here you see us, we're leaving the hotel, going down into Cavilha. Obviously I talked a lot about that in the last video. So I just thought I'd show you a bit of this going into it, because it's got a nice little twisty road actually. Just a big, obviously, line of us all together here, so we weren't doing anything sort of silly, because it was obviously quite early in the day and we knew we were going through this town and going for some fuel, which was only sort of, I think it was actually 5 miles away from the hotel actually. So just down here, nice and twisty, we're having a bit of a laugh on the bikes as we're going along. So it was just a nice little curved road, and quite nice to get you into the day actually with this, so quite nice. And you see Cavilha, it's actually quite a big city, as I was mentioning, the size of it, it's 50 odd thousand people in it. I think when you are in this sort of area, national park, quite open, and then you come down to the city, the base of it, and it's actually quite big. So yeah, it's quite good. So again, beautiful day again. You see one of my pictures, it gets up to 40 degrees at some point, 41 degrees I think on the dash at one point. Pretty hot, but it's what we're here for again. Again, just enjoying ourselves. Again, 197 miles, like I've said there, from base to Zamora. So quite nice. And we're just can't say anything about this more than it was fantastic weather, great roads again, well, and you know, just getting to know everybody. We've only got 2 or 3 days left now before we get back to Santander, it is, and you know, so getting near the end now. This day is a little bit of a transition day, I'd say. There's no particular, I suppose, highlights in a way that I'd say about it. Good roads, obviously, some different ones, as you'll see once we come through Cavilha here. Sort of click forward, we'll go onto the plains, we'll go through Pin Hill, it's about 50 miles, we stop up about 72 at Cafe, and then get to about 122 before we stop for our cafe stop, so 2 or 3 stops today, in little places. We'll stop at one of the dams on the Douro River, get the drone up on that, and just to show you a bit of that, just show you a bit of that. So that's roughly in the middle of this, and yeah, sort of all good here again, and got a little bit of fast road where we were all catching up with each other as we got separated a little bit, and then we've got, as we're going into Zamora as well, and I'll give you a bit more information on that as we go along. So we'll sort of get into Cavilha in just a minute. We are coming into Cavilha now. Quite nice seeing some of these old towns, cities, just seeing the architecture in them. Quite nice. I think a lot of the time we do a lot of these tours, we don't go through many cities as such. We might go into them at the end of the day, but to actually go through one in its entirety, more or less, sort of central, so not exactly an area where you get ring roads down them or anything. You've got to go through the centre. It was actually really quite nice to just feel the atmosphere of the place. As I said to you, it's got quite a lot of history to it, a lot of old walls around it, which is really nice to see. So it's quite an open moment that we've got here until we get towards the centre. Times going into some traffic lights here, I think it is. Meandering down here. The roads get quite narrow as well, as you see here. Lots of little streets. And I don't know what you find in some of the Portuguese, even Spanish roads, but they're that narrow, and they've got that many of these round drain covers that you can't miss them, not unless you go within like a foot of the pavement and you see how wide that pavement is or how wide it isn't. You can just about fit one person on it, so you can't get too close. If there's any pedestrians, try and miss the drain cover on the right, you're going to slap somebody with your panniers. And then you get out on the left hand side, there's a car coming, you get a bit too close to the car, so half the time you're having to come across the actual drain covers. And they're there about every 10-15 yards, or even though there's a couple together within 2 yards of each other. They're quite ridiculous, really. But, luckily, because the road conditions are okay, it's not as bad. So here we are on more cobbles, famous Portuguese cobbles. Really nice little centre this, actually. Nice again, nice sunny day. Quite a nice place to actually have a stop and have a coffee, actually. If it's a bit further into the ride, it'd be a nice place to chill and see the world go by. Little pillars there in the central, call it a roundabout, I suppose. So we're all gathering up and trying to get through the traffic here. Nice, quite a busy little city. So, lots of little cobbles. Not seeing much of this actually. In a couple of places we went to, the cobbles, I think I mentioned one of the previous videos. God, they're quite rough. Trying to do a bit of slow speed manoeuvring on them is quite it's quite a trick, and especially if you've got to go up into a garage where you don't have the proper ramped curbs on them. You've actually got to hop up the curb on a narrow street, do a bit of a right angled turn on it. Oh my god, I think there was a couple of times it was a bit of a prey to make sure you got around the corner and stayed upright as you popped across this curb into these garages, which were on a bit of a ramp up and down as well. But anyway, we're coming out there. Again, got these sort of roundabouts, quite a lot of features on them, which is quite nice. Little fountain in that one. We're getting a bit closer to the outskirts of the area now. Starting to open up, get a bit more open road again. Come up to a little accident at a garage here. Again, not seen many policemen about, so this was very rare to see one. There was only one car there. I mean, I think we had one, there'd be about 3 cars there. And don't know what the heck they were doing there, but managed to get themselves in a pickle. Didn't slow us up too much though, and we're going to get out onto the road again. Here we are going over one of the many dams that go across the Douro Valley in the river. Tons of them. I think we're not used to going over dams. We tend to get dams over here in the UK, and you can go by the side of them, but not many. You actually get across the dams. They've got a bridge across, but there they use a sort of a bridge stroke dam, which is quite good. So we'd also gone through a bit of traffic, a few junctions. So I'm sort of third in line here, Tom at the front leading us, and then we've got Goldwing in front of myself, and they like to make a bit of progress. Actually quite good for a wing, actually. It's quite nice to see. I tried to give them a bit of space at times, because I knew when we got up to some of the sharp corners I always caught them up. So you sort of, like this one here, quite a sharp corner, coming up to them, get a bit close to them, try not to accelerate out the corner like I normally do, because they're like, oh, it's going to be up their backside again, and so I tended to back off a little bit to give us a bit of space. So when we actually did some bends again, just managed to keep on going. So there's a nice little fast flowing bit of road here. I think we're still climbing out of the valley here, so there's quite nice sweeping bends. There's a couple of tight ones there to start off with, but yeah, it got really it's kept on going like this, and see here in a wee while it just went quite it was almost like plains that we were on, quite vast. It was quite unusual actually, because I hadn't really seen much of this for most of the holiday, any actual sort of flat lands. So it's quite strange actually, quite American like actually, in sort of like some of their plains. I suppose obviously central Spain here they've got a lot of plains, but not in this area. So it's a bit of a surprising sort of thing to see. So I'll say all that's to the dimension of the holiday, I suppose. So here we are. So just enjoying ourselves. Just again, just to say it was a hot day, even when we're rising up high here. Just enjoying ourselves, and I say we're getting a reasonable bit of pace on. It's quite good fun. So here we are. So now we got this afternoon stop by this dam. It's Douro River Dam. Don't know which one it is. Again, 2 years ago. I've got the memory of an gnat. I've tried to look at my map I've got, tried to sort of figure out exactly which one it was, but I couldn't. But and again, we stopped here. You'll see in a minute where there's a bit of a curve on the right hand side of the bend where we're in the shadows, parked with the bikes. I think we stopped here. I just thought it would be a quick 2-minute stop, and Tom said, "Oh, you're not getting your drone out." And I'm going, "Well, I've got time." All right, okay then, fair enough, right? So I've got a GoPro Karma drone, which just fits into my top box in its bag. So I had to whip that out. It's one of these that I have to put the propellers on, unfold it, get it all powered up, power the controller up, etc. So it was like one of these, how fast can you do it? But got a good bit of time, and just shows how sort of big the dam is in this little bit of valley here. The roads we came down. We've sort of come towards this angle. We're on the right hand side there, and we're going to go across the dam and leave it. So which I think we see in a bit actually. And yeah, it's quite a nice little bit. I say if I knew actually which one it was, I could blather on a little bit about the history of it, but I don't know. So it's a dam, but quite nice views on it. So you get a better picture of these plains we were on this little clip here. Some straight bits of road, and you see pretty flat, little bit of higher stuff in the distance there, but you know, there's not much elevation changes whatsoever. So you lost that sort of mountainous feel about the place, but you knew you were actually quite high up here. I think at the time we did look at elevations. I think we were shouting at Builder Bob, it was his sat nav, he had the elevation on it. I think we were asking him, I think we were maybe a couple of thousand feet up, I think it was, which I think that in the UK, I think where the Cat and Fiddle is 1750 feet, so we're higher than that, and you know, you didn't really get that sense of that height. So it was a little bit different, bit of a different time of the day, so we were able to get a little bit of hustle on, as you can see here, just to get us a little bit before we got some of the other roads that we had to go on. Just one little stops I had to mark for a change. Don't think I've reviewed many of them. There's not many I've had to edit out, so I'll keep this one editing if we go past me. So we're relatively close together. So to count everybody down. So you're waiting on the back marker, hoping you could see the orange vest that they had on at the back. So depending what type of bike they had, if they had a big fairing you couldn't see the orange vest, and you're trying to rely on remembering that what bike it was. So I think with this one I've obviously seen them. You got the odd one where they'd actually go past you, depending on if there was a car coming, etc. You might have to stop. But yeah, so I think I knew the Goldwing was the second last one, so off we went on the slip road. There's a little bit of main road here. A little bit of a catch up to get on top of everybody. So I think we're still in the Braganza municipality in the northeast of Portugal here. So we were all the way in Portugal, right near the border, all the way up actually, and we're going across this river here. I think it was near the reservoir of the Ricabeo. So that's also known as the Salto of Ricabeo, or the Esla Reservoir, and it's because the River Esla goes there as well, and that's the province of Zamora. So I think we're on the outskirts of Zamora, maybe 30 miles to go at this little bit here. So a nice little bit of catching up. If you're going to leave a gap, I'm going to go into it. So, past a few cars. Catching up with Barry there, I think. Yep. Gap, let's go for it. Must be needing to stretch my legs, get some air through me as well. As I said to you, it's quite hot on these plains when we're going along them. There's another one dispatched. Got up with the main crew then. That was us together for a little bit. Came off this bit of Joe Carsway here. We're near the Miranda do Douro area, which is again just across the border, still in Portugal. But in this area, it's actually got quite a sort of Roman influence in it. So it's a very ancient city, which is obviously a Roman settlement. It was in the 8th century. It was occupied by the Arabs as well. So Romans, Arabs, obviously Portuguese there. The Arabs gave it the name of Mirando, which later gave rise to Miranda as the area. So the location by the border gave it a great importance as a strategic point of defence. And in the 12th century, first king of Portugal, the Afonso Henriques, ordered a castle to be built there, together with the town walls, which transformed the settlement into a genuine stronghold. In the 16th century, the town was raised to the status of city and made the episcopal seat of the Trás Montes, whereupon it embarked upon a period of great prosperity, with the erection of such grandiose buildings as the Church of Santa Maria Maior, which for more than 2 centuries enjoyed the status of a cathedral. The 17th century, with the wars fought to restore Portuguese independence from Spain, and later during the French invasions, the city suffered a number of major reverses and lost much of its former importance. So the area is well known for its lively and colourful folklore. The Coleteiros de Miranda, dressed in their traditional white flannel kilts, perform the famous stick dance to the sound of bagpipes, dressed in Scottish. The origin of this dance dates back to the time of the region's Celtic occupation in the Iron Age. And you can listen out for people speaking Mirandês. This is one of the official languages in Portugal and is spoken in this region. And when it's time to eat, watch out for posta lindraça, made with excellent beef produced in the area. So, as we're heading into Zamora, again another big city, which is in the Castile and Leon region in Spain. Reminded me a lot of Zaragoza in some of its history, actually. As I say, Zamora, it's in the capital of the province of Zamora. and it lies on a rocky hill in the northwest near the frontier with Portugal, obviously. I've just got across it, and is crossed by the Douro River. It's only about 30 miles downstream as it reaches the Portugal border. And it's got 24 characteristic Romanesque style churches of the 12th and 13th centuries, and it's been called the Museum of Romanesque Art. Zamora is the city with the most Romanesque churches in all of Europe. Again, if you're into that sort of thing, excellent. Again, if you like that, and it'd be quite a nice place to visit. But obviously, the most important celebration in Zamora is the Holy Week around Easter. Holy Week is celebrated by 16 Catholic religious brotherhoods and fraternities that perform penance processions on the streets of the city. Now, this is something we saw when we were in Zaragoza many years ago, probably about 2003, I think it was 2004 possibly time. And we went into that city about Easter time and we saw it, and we were on the outskirts of that city at the time, and the banging drums, and wondered what the heck it was, and we were going into the town in the evening for something to eat, and massive processions, and we were all dressed in these hooded gowns, which was a bit like the Ku Klux Klan if you didn't know what the heck was happening, but obviously religious for Easter, and lots of statues and things they were carrying. So I think this is something that Zamora has as well, so quite rich in history for these sort of things. So our hotel tonight, right in the centre of Zamora, lots of these little streets to negotiate. Right in the centre. I think we wondered where we were going at one point, because we were going left, right, left, and eventually you'll see in a second down into these little streets, quite sort of block brick paved, and again the garage is at the back of the hotel, and we wanted to gather there so we could all be let in, and got into the hotel. So that's us for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a transition day, but hopefully it's been of some interest with you with some of the old Wikipedia facts I've given you. The next one should be a pretty good one, I think. It's it'll be the last one of this series, where we go into pots pans going up to the Dare. So some pretty good footage up to there, so I'm sure you're going to enjoy. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. Give us a like, will you, or a comment, or whatever. Subscribe to the channel so you can see this next one, and hopefully we'll see you again. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers. See you again. Bye.